I chose to go out to Nashville to record a new album because I'd always wanted to record an album there, but I didn't want to go out there and make a country album. I just wanted to work with some of the best musicians that I know out there and who are good friends now. And on a previous album, My Town, I was lucky enough to get a great guitar player called Will Kimbrough to come and play on a couple of songs. So I got in touch with Will and asked him about some studios and stuff, and he came up with this guy, Elijah Shaw, or Lidge as he's known, who would, he thought would be a good guy to work with on the record, and he was really interested in working with me. And Paul Deakin and Robert Reynolds from the Mavericks, my old pals, were really keen to play on the record and help out, and they put me in touch with keyboard player Jen Gunderman. Jen had played with the Jayhawks, which is one of my favourite all-time bands, and then I also got Al Perkins, who also had played on My Town, and I've done a lot of touring with Al, and Al's a legendary steel player, played with some great people. So I got the musicians assembled, all Nashville guys, apart from Kevin Maguire, who is in the Felsons with me. And we headed out to Nashville, out to this great studio in a wee place called Murfreesboro, which is just outside Nashville. Belongs to a mad guy called Brian Carter. And we recorded all analogue on all this vintage equipment that Brian's restored, and we had a great time. On the trampoline, what does it all mean? I was really lucky because I had some great guests that just came out and helped out on the record. A singer-songwriter, Thad Cockrell, came out and sang some harmonies on the record, and as I say, I had Robert Reynolds from the Mavericks. He just played on a couple of songs. Robert's always good fun to have around. And I had a magic saxophone player, not literally magic, but had a great saxophone player called Jeff Coffin, who was recommended to me by everybody really, and so I was lucky enough to get Jeff to come and play on a couple of songs. There on the trampoline, be happy, Bethany. Well, we're just here at Rancho La Lamita. We've just left our trailer that we have out here called June Rose. It's an old Airstream trailer. I'm riding in a Bob's buggy. The sun's just going down, so the light's a bit funny, but we're right on the outskirts of Joshua Tree National Park here. I'm going to take you up a little bit, up the road here. You watch, don't knock down any of the bunnies. The song Sand in My Shoes was written on my way home from this place, which is, well, we're out here in a place called 29 Palms, which is in the high desert in California, and we have some friends that we stay with out here, and I've always had a fascination with the desert, especially the Californian desert. Michelle, who owns the house out here, had told me that I had sand in my shoes, and driving back to Los Angeles I got the whole idea for the song Sand in My Shoes, and pretty much wrote it in my head, and when I got home to Scotland got the guitar out and finished it off. Sand in my shoes, sand in my shoes, I'm heading back through Tinseltown with sand in my shoes. title track, Whiskey Hearts, I wrote after a dream I had actually, and I was in the dream, I was in the recording studio with a band called Fairport Convention, and Sandy Denny, amazing singer, was singing this song, and Richard Thompson was playing away on the guitar. And when I woke up, all I could remember from the song was there was a refrain, you know, the line "Whiskey Hearts," and I could remember the melody, and I realised it obviously wasn't a song that existed, it was just in a dream. So I got my guitar out and figured out the chords, but I never really had lyrics for it apart from the Whiskey Hearts line. And then I got talking to an old guy in my local bar, the Diggers, which is a famous bar in Edinburgh, about his life and stuff, and you know, working in the shipyards. And he gave me the lyrics that I needed to complete the song.
Once knew a man, a hard-working man, used to work in shipbuilding, but the docks closed down. Now he wanders the town. They might as well have killed him. Said her first memory when she was just 23 made his heart beat faster, but like a leaf in the breeze is blown from the trees. Somehow I lost her. Now so old and so young, every father was a son, every mother a daughter. In the bars of this land, many a woman and man breaking their whiskey hearts.
I was on tour in Australia about 2 years ago, and was really missing home. And when I think of Scotland, a lot of the time, even though I'm from Edinburgh and love Edinburgh, I think musically, sort of, I'm much more spiritually attached to Glasgow. And every time just about every time I can remember when we used to travel back from Edinburgh to Glasgow and to do shows and radio and stuff, we'd always go along the M8 or take the train from Waverley to Glasgow, and it was always, you know, we'd always say, what do you think the weather will be like in Glasgow? And the answer was, I bet it'll be raining in Glasgow. So when I was in Australia and missing home, that's where I wrote the song Raining in Glasgow. And it's really just about my fondness for the people of Glasgow and missing home and being as far south as I could be, really. And I think it's one of my favourite songs in the album. And I also talk about Elvis Costello, who's one of my songwriting heroes in that song. And it's really just thinking about Glasgow and what would be a great night out in Glasgow, or one of the great nights out that I had in Glasgow, which was going to see Elvis Costello and the Attractions at the famous Barrowlands.
I could be at the Barrowlands, watching Elvis Costello, and the Attractions playing Pump It Up, the sunshine speeding down on me, summertime is everywhere. I bet it's raining in Glasgow. Down here in the south, the sun's about to set. I bet it's raining in Glasgow. But tonight, I wouldn't mind getting wet.
It's absolutely beautiful out here. I'll take you up this back road here. in the background you might be able to see the boundary. This is the Joshua Tree National Park kind of boundary here. And I hope none of these wildfires start over there, because there's just so many ancient Joshua trees there, 200 years old and stuff like that, which have probably been destroyed up in Pioneer Town today. And you can see the sky is filled with smoke. It's just terrible. Leith is where I'm from. It's a part of Edinburgh. It likes to be actually just known as being separate, I think, from Edinburgh, as its own little world. And I was actually looking through some photographs, and there was a picture of me with my dad, and in the picture I was actually looking over my dad's shoulder, and I just started thinking about my dad's life and how really he's always over my shoulder, watching over me, and all he's gone through in his life. And I just started writing these verses, you know, about my dad's life, and came out with this song, The Man from Leith. And I wasn't really thinking of putting it on the album because I felt a bit too personal, and also it had a real strong Celtic vibe. I can hear some birds in the background here. I'm not sure what that is. Not up on all my desert bird life at the moment. But yeah, I thought maybe the song had too strong a Celtic feel for this record. But when I played it to the musicians that were going to play in the album, they all really encouraged me to put this on, especially Kev and Paul. You know, they said I'd be mad not to put this one on. So I think what's great about it is the song does have a strong Celtic feel, but these musicians from the south, you know, all Tennessee-based musicians, have brought that American twang to the record, and Al Perkins has played some great dobro on it.
As I sit here alone trying to understand who it is that I am, I know within every man flows the blood of his father, flows the blood of his father. Somewhere over my shoulder walks a man from Leith. Yes, somewhere over my shoulder is a man from Leith.
The song years ago was written after the first election that George Bush got in, and I just, you know, I think I was a bit angry when I wrote it. And the first verse talks about maybe the wrong guy getting in, you know, to power. But I mean, I think about that, you know, there was a few elections around that time around the world that maybe the wrong guy got in.
Another election goes flying by. Nobody cares, so we get the wrong